Hello, everyone. Welcome to the online panel on Venice
must be
Production
sufficient.
Bridge live channel, operated by Taika. We are Taika, Taiwan Creative Content Agency. I'm Qingfang Hu, President of Taika. It's such a pleasure to meet you online. We wish we were in Venice now with you, but unfortunately we're still in Taiwan, Taipei, and now we have to bring ourselves to you now. So it's such a pleasure to meet you. So today we want to talk about technology and content. 5G is here. New technology has arrived. Will new technology change the direction of our content, or content will drive the technology? Today we are here to discuss what is the driving force that will control the future of cultural content. Today's panel will be divided into three parts. The first one will talk to the content creators, and the second part we will discuss with technology people. And the third one, we're going to talk about the distribution and marketing of the new genre in this world. In part one, the content creator, today, here in Taipei, we invited 3 VR directors, Taiwanese young directors, whose works are selected in this year's Venice VR program. We also invited Liz, who curates Venice VR program, to join us. Our first speaker is Mr. Zhang Xu. His film, Great Hoax, The Moon Landing, is in competition this year. He won the Best New Director Award for his first feature film, Detention, last year in Golden Horse Award, which is the most prestigious film award in the pan-Chinese speaking world. And the second speaker is Mr. Zhiyan Xu, whose first VR film, Home, is selected in the category of Best of VR this year. Besides VR, his previous film, Dear Ask, topped Taiwan box office, earned him a Golden Horse nomination for the Best Film Director. Our third speaker, Mr. Zhong Tang, collaborates with HTC Vive Originals to create the very first Taiwanese stop-motion VR animation, The Sick Rose. This groundbreaking project is selected into virtual reality immersive story projects this year. Along with the 3 talented directors, of course, we have Ms. Liz Rosenthal with us from Venice. So why don't we start with the first question? I'm going to throw the first question to Jhon. You started your career as a VR film director, then go to the feature film, and then switch back to VR. So what was the experience switching between 2 different kind of genre?
Yeah, it was kind of like the opposite. Like I studied film when I was in college, and it was not until 2017 when Kaohsiung Film Festival funded the first batch of directors to making VR films. So we made my first 360 VR film, My Spiritual Temple Sucks, and that was kind of like to me, it's like a homecoming experience because I've been a gamer since I was 10. So to tell a story, most of my previous films are usually about gaming culture or digital culture. So moving from filmmaking to VR filmmaking is kind of like something in between. So yeah.
What is interesting is that in your future film, you actually is regarded as a very serious film director. But all your VR production are pretty funny. They are humorous. So I wonder, do you feel funny, more funnier when you are in the VR room area?
It's more like Detention is probably my most serious film, and most of my other works are either satire or comedies. So yeah, if I get to choose, I always choose comedy. Yeah.
So will you talk a little bit about your film, The Grey Hawks, this time?
The Grey Hoax is an interactive project co-produced by Serendipity Films and 3 Dart Animation. Uh, I am one of the director for the first episode, the moon landing. It's about the Taiwanese government want to find a way to solve our identity crisis. So they decided that we actually need our own moon landing, but we don't have the budget to actually go to the moon. So instead, the government hire a famous director to fake a moon landing, like a video shooting project. And the player, which is the audience, play as the actor that play as the astronaut. That you need to, in the experience, you need to follow the director's order and, and help them to finish the shooting of the Taiwanese moon landing. Yeah. So it's like a satire, a social satire on this Taiwanese identity crisis.
It's actually a lot of interaction in the film, right?
Yes, it's also my very first interactive project.
Can you explain why you add so many interaction part into the new film? Because in your previous film, there are not so many interaction part. Is because technology improve or?
It was quite funny that when we were making my spiritual temple sax, which is a 360 video, and we used a lot of like a fake game interface to help the narrative. But we found that when you're actually watching that film, you couldn't resist the urge to interact with all the other objects. But as a 360 video, you cannot do that. So that was the time I found that if we're making the next VR project, it has to be something that's more interactive, that the player or the audience can have more ability to interact with the environment. So that's kind of like we pretty much decided our next VR project to be interactive from the start. Yeah.
So can I say, because you say you have been a gamer since you're 10, to create something which can interact with the audience has been a dream of a filmmaker
Kind of.
all your life?
Yeah, because as a filmmaker, all the information, the storytelling is that you feed the audience what you want them to see. But as a gamer, you know that there are stories that can only be told with an interactive experience. That there are a lot of like a storytelling techniques that you are not really have this kind of a flexibility as a filmmaker. So making Grey Hoax is like something I combine the two areas, and it was quite fun to make during the process. Yeah.
Our second speaker, Zhiyan, the second filmmaker who also got nominated and selected by the Venice Film Festival. And your film, on the other hand, is actually you want to describe the status of being an invalid, an old granny who locked down in his chairperson. You want to show the powerless of such a perspective. Can you tell us more about your film and what's the essence of your creation?
And I'm from a big family, and it's like 20 or 30 people. And Taiwan is a small island, so it is quite easy to connect to each other. So which means my family is like quite strong connection. So since I was child, like if anyone got a new kid born, then we will go to it to see it. Or my cousins like graduate from the university, then everybody will go to it. So all the holiday or even all the family will glad together. But when I getting old, it's kind of like it's a beautiful memory when I was a kid to back home. But my age is growing up. It's kind of like become a rule or restriction the family give me. So I named my grandma dad, so I use my grandma's point of view, but actually I want to record how our family behavior in front of my grandma. That's the original idea why I shoot in home.
Because the other day we have a discussion about you kind of take advantage of that kind of powerless audience position to show the perspective of the grandmother that she can only watch, but she cannot interact with anyone. So, which is also interesting compared with Jhon's film, that now his new film is full of interaction, and you actually cut down the interaction.
Yep.
Can you elaborate more on that?
Before I shoot in home, I did a research. I saw lots like VR film, and for my feeling, like when I'm watching, at the first moment I was thinking, who am I? So what is the point of view? And I got like a lonely feeling, like everybody's moving, but I was like out of this world. So I start thinking the point of view is the most important thing I want to discuss. Then at the same time, my grandma dead. So I was thinking like everybody, every time when we back home, like all the people use their own way to show love to the grandma, but nobody know what grandma's thinking. She can talk, she even can see it, and also the ear, the sound is like quite weird for her. So that's why I choose my grandma. I find her situation is quite suitable for when I using the VR glasses. I think it's just the same with like my grandma. So that's why I use the grandma on the wheelchair. So everybody's like show love, even though somebody's like fighting for their own situation to the mom. Somebody was like my father, he was like half a year to see my mom, grandma one time, but somebody's like always nearby the grandma. So what's the difference between them? That's why I used my grandma's point of view.
And the third speaker, Zhong, his film is very complicated. Actually, all of us are impressed how difficult to make his project. His project, can you explain more? Because he come from a very his family background come from a very traditional handicraft art from Taiwan, and he applied such a skill to make frame by frame work animation, and we just don't know how much patience you need to finish the project. Can you explain more about your project to the audience?
那个的确是需要很多很多的耐心。那这次也很荣幸，这次我们冰玫瑰可以入围那个威尼斯的创投单元。那因为创投单元，所以其实我们的作品还没有就是还在制作之中。那像今天的晚上，我们就要再回去再继续的调动作。那我们是一格一格，然后把它调出来，一个一个拍出来，然后又加入技术上的 VR 的部分。那所以这部分其实我们自己在看那个 VR 呈现偶动画的状态之后，我们是有一种惊艳的感觉，然后我们也相当的兴奋。那希望这次我们可以把这个作品整个把它冰玫瑰整个把它完成，然后是一个更精彩、更好看的呈现给大家。
Indeed, this project takes a lot of patience, and we are very honored this time our work and project can be selected by the financing market selection. And today, because this is still a work in progress, we're still working on the production. And after this forum today, I'm going back to my studio to fine-tune all the frames, and I will apply the VR technology on it. The VR result is quite impressive after we saw how it works on the figure animation. And we are very excited and really look forward to present the complete work for our audience pleasure.
The visual of the sick roses are just simply fantastic. They are so beautiful. Can you explain more to the audience what kind of handicraft or your family business is? is dolls made of flower, right?
我们其实是我们团队，我们团队是旋转犀牛，我们是有制偶的，然后我是负责调动作，然后这次是我来负责导演病玫瑰的这个部分。那我们有一个黄瑜璇导演，然后他现在是我们的制偶师。那他们家呢是做捏面人的家族，所以他们从小呢就在庙口做一只一只小的不会动的公仔，然后呢再开始贩售。那我们之后想说，如果我们可以让它动起来，然后呈现一个故事，这是件很美好的事情。然后我们就开始试着用捏面的技术，然后来制作停格动画，然后一直延续至今。
So the project, the Sick Rose, is a work with VR, and we are actually working with the team. So we have one other director whose name is Huang Yishen, and he actually comes from a traditional family background with the art craft of making doll figurine. So his family used to sell the doll figurine. Doll figurine is the traditional figurine made from flour, and that's colored. And their family used to sell that in front of the courtyard of a temple. However, those figurines are motionless, they cannot move. So we were inspired by this traditional art craft and would like to transform that into movable figurines, and we can actually use that to present a story and use the form of frame by frame animation.
So as we can tell that we have 3 filmmakers here, and they already make 3 different kind, totally different different kinds of film. And so although VR may seem like a new form, but they are already kind of flourishing and just fantastic. So right now we have Liz online. So can we have Liz comment why she selected these 3 films and what's her reason to? Liz, do we have you?
Yeah, you have me.
Hi.
Hello.
Sorry, I'm not good at online. When I don't see people's
worry.
face, I don't know what to say. Now I see your face. I'm more lively now.
It's all complicated. Having
Yes,
to
it is.
deal with
it
loads of
is.
screens. Hello, how are you doing?
We are okay. Wow, I'm so happy to see your face. So can you tell us more? Why you choose these 3 filmmakers' film? What's so wonderful about them?
So I'm going to go back and just talk a little bit about Venice VR Expanded and where we start from as curators. So Michelle and I really want the selection to represent the best of what is possible in this new format. So you can see that the whole selection is a huge range of different types of forms and genres. So we really want to represent the best from 360 video, live action or narrative, to very complex, interactive, multiplayer creations that can exist in virtual worlds or virtual worlds and locations. And I think the projects that we're discussing today are a very good representation of how varied the form of virtual reality is, leading from something like Home, which is a beautifully shot and very moving portrait of old age and isolation, to The Great Hoax, which is an interactive single player experience that's comedy using CGI and mocap and where the viewer has agency, which, as you pointed out, is completely the opposite of Home. And takes part in even though Home, obviously the viewer is part of the story, in The Great Hoax, you're very much part of the story. You're you interact with the story world. And then The Sick Rose, which comes from a very different, which has a very different genre as well. I mean, we have a lot of projects that sit in the performing arts and the choreography space. So I think these 3 projects are a great representation of, the breadth of work.
Can I ask you, do you think that VR have different kind of narrative? or kind of similar to the traditional feature film?
There are things in, obviously, that there are skills and sides of filmmaking, flat screen filmmaking, that come into virtual reality. But I think with any new form or tool, you have to really start from what that tool can do. And I sometimes don't think it's particularly useful to start making comparisons, because I think you have to start from a different place. As you know, the filmmakers who were on the panel mentioned, this idea of point of view and who are you is so important in VR, and you have to understand what it means to be in a three-dimensional space, as opposed to and having agency, and what it means when someone has agency in a project. So, of course, there are elements of direction and filmmaking that come into some aspects of virtual reality filmmaking. I don't even say filmmaking, actually. It's funny we're using that term of making experiences in VR. But I think it's really good as a maker always to think, what does this medium do? What can I do with it? How do I have to understand it? And I think some of the most interesting work that helps us do that is done by psychologists and neuroscientists who've been working in virtual reality for 25 years, who understands how it affects our limbic brain and how we create memories from being embodied in virtual reality projects. So I think for filmmakers and people coming from other disciplines, it's really useful, really understanding how the medium affects us in ways.
I think it's a very interesting question that because I think I talked to Cai Mingliang before, and he feel that in the VR zone that directors still control where you see. Because in traditional filmmaking, of course, the film director define every angle you look at. But in VR, actually, people can turn around. It's more like a physical experience, being an immersive theater or immersive environment. But do you think VR maker, let's not use the filmmaker then, the VR maker still control where the audience to see or no? Do they still have the power like traditional filmmaker?
Of course, because you're creating a project that you have to go from A to B to C to Z. But it depends how you do it, because there are moments, obviously, you're giving space for people to explore. But I think going back to what we were talking about, I think making VR projects brings together so many different disciplines. And I think you need to have those different disciplines. So we're working in space. You're not authoring flat screen work where you sort of like author the point of view. So I think people, for example, who come from the theatre background or the immersive theatre background are really great people to have in your team, because they understand first the dynamics of physical space and then real-time performance, which is something that's really important when you allow someone agency within a work or within a story world or in a story, a virtual space. You have to understand the dynamics of real-time performance and improvisation. And then you need people who come from the games industry who understand games design and games dynamic, which is something that features in the Great Hoax. And then there are so many other disciplines like of architecture and design that are needed. So and then of course there's the direction skills that film directors or theatre directors have with actors that are needed. So all kinds of disciplines are coming together. And I think it's the first time I've really seen the need for so many creative sectors to work together. And I think that's what makes it such an exciting medium.
Exactly. Because since that I'm going to ask one question for the three of you to answer, is that I'm curious because as a VR maker, you have to live and work and use technology all the time. And you probably have to think technology. So I'm wondering, when you're making your film, or VR, Do you like earning? There's some kind of yearning or some kind of desire for what kind of technology to be invented, so you can do something great in your VR form, Jhon?
Yeah, it's pretty similar to what Liz just said, because in VR you have this kind of agency that you don't have in the traditional film. And also as a storyteller, you don't have you can no longer force the audience to look whenever you want them to see. So they always have the freedom to look around, even if you guide them with a clearly indication for them to follow. They still have this kind of freedom to disobey your guidance. So what we try to do with Great Hoax is that we play with this kind of agency and the illusion of choices, that even if you have choices during the whole experience, you are still following the directors, which is the main character of this experience, order to finish the whole project. So in the end, you'll find out that you don't really have this kind of freedom of choices. It's more like even if you thought you have that, you're still controlled by a larger, by the greater good. So yeah, that's what we played, how we play with this kind of agency and isolation using VR. So to me, it's like the content and the technology is like we need to going back and forth to figure out what we can do and what we cannot do, and use that kind of a limitation to transform into the other kind of a way, the other kind of storytelling. It's like what Jhon did with the home. I think that he found a really good way to use this kind of isolation the VR created.
For me, actually, I quite enjoy the VR's restriction. Like people can choose anywhere they want to see. So what I'm trying to do is I want to force them can get the same feeling I want to tell. So I'm quite focused on the. I think I use the traditional way to tell story. Like when people over there, then people coming, then things happen, then everybody leaving. It's like traditional storytelling, and I focus on the people movement, like which person at what time and coming up, and everybody like talking with the grandma, and the audience can run away. You have to, even though you look background, still have your family over there. So I try to use this, and also for me, because I do the film before, this experience, like because VR, everything you are shooting at the same time. So no lighting place, no director. You can watch in the monitor. Because this restriction, all the actor is so on time. Everybody, I did a one shot, so everybody have to concentrate to face your family, to talk your grandma, and I really enjoy it.
We have 1 minute, sorry. Can Chi-Chung want to throw any kind of technology you wanted to be invented to help your film?
其实我们拍片，因为这次我们用停格，然后还有 VR 结合，其实没有太多可以参考的状况，我们全部都自己踹出来的。所以其实就我们创作者来说的话，其实只要可以让我们更方便创作，那基本上让我们可以自由自在在里面玩，然后在里面尝试，然后尝试的时间成本比较少一点，然后我们可以看更多的运镜，看更多的可能性。那这边是我们很好的一个体验的状态。那我觉得现在荧幕很有趣。 我们从一开始的远的电影的荧幕，然后开始电视，然后手机，然后现在 VR 贴到我们的眼睛前面，我们荧幕越来越近，但是我们的视野却是越来越宽。那所以这部分的话，我们正在，我们像是冒险者一样，在一直尝试着不同的可能性，然后尝试不同的视觉或是故事的说法。那我觉得这部分是非常有趣的。那也感谢那个 HTC 还有那个 Vive Original 他们在帮我们做。 技术上的调整的时候，帮我们解决了很多技术上的问题，然后让我们可以很快速的来呈现我们自己想要呈现的样子或是实验。那这点我觉得就创作来说，我们只需要创作的工具更为简便，然后更为快速，这样我们可以生产出更让人想不到的画面和故事。那这是我的想法。
So as a VR maker, what I'm looking for is a tool that can make the process of using VR much more convenient and user-friendly, because we find the experience of making frame-by-frame animation plus VR is unprecedented before, so we have to do this through trial and error. So I would like to look for something that's convenient, allow us greater liberty to really explore the possibility of telling a story. And we are really grateful to HTC's Vibe Originals team helping with us, dealing with all the technology issues, so we can actually focus on our creation. I think screen is a very funny thing. Now we start with the big screen, which is more distant from us, and then move further to TV, and then we have the screen in our hands. And now we have VR, which is virtually in front of our eyes. So it's getting closer and closer, but offering us a bigger perspective, and that allows a lot of possibility for us being a explorer.
Thank you. Thank you, Liz. So now we have met with the three creators. In our second panel, we're going to meet with the technology people to see what they think about the new playground, VR. Welcome back. The second part, do I have sound here? Excuse us, sorry, the online panel is very tough. We live in a very strange year, please forgive me. Welcome back. The second part of the panel will focus on the power of cultural content and why the need of the content actually probably will push the technology forward. And we have some technology people here to debate with us who will drive the future of cultural content. So let's welcome our first speaker, Mr. Shourongpeng Pan. I'm always confused between the Chinese pronunciation and the English pronunciation, so people, please forgive me. This is Mr. Pan. He is the technical director of Service System Technology Center. He at the E3. And in the recent years, he focuses on the driving of the technology to aid the development of cultural content. One remarkable example is the volumetric capture studio in Taipei, which now is managed by Taika. And our second speaker is Mr. Ethan Tu, the founder of Taiwan AI Lab. Ethan is not only a computer scientist, but also an entrepreneur who utilized Taiwan technology power to build AI solutions for the world's problems. Our third speaker is Ms. Jarry. She is the co-founder of the immersive and interaction production company, Lucid Reality, based in France. Chloe has been working on XR interaction projects for over 10 years, including games, animation, and art pieces. Taika is very happy to support their latest project that collaborates with Taiwan, the starry sand beach. Our newly launched immersive content grant this year. So welcome the three of you. Now starting with Shourong, can I ask you a question? Because most people will say, oh, creators are so difficult. And we technology people have no idea what they're talking about. Do you experience such a problems? I know that you have an artist in resident program at E3. So you found the difficult animals? Anything interesting to share with us?
That's true. We always, to people told us, we like an animal is not talking the language of people. So, but I think there's like the Mr. Hu, we are not the debate, but I think the most important is communicate. Yeah, because we always know the creator and the engineering is always a different brand. Yeah, I don't know why, but it is true. The people always talking about different language. So the most important, I think they will be the interpretation to translate between the technical and the creative. So for example, we operate to help the Taika to operate the biometric capture studio in Taiwan. We serve with the creator, director to make their object to create like a VR program, a film program, or like an MV, such as also the game. So the director and they always to imagination what they want to do, but they will have to translate to make the technical can how to support. They will be make happen, and also the engineering always didn't to imagine what they are directly thinking. So there will be important things is to make a more communication between each other and to change the language between each other. Yeah.
But surely, I think that you probably will find the communication with creator make technology more human, which probably will change the direction how you think about your technology too.
Because you know, I'm the background from the engineer side, so we always thinking logically and like processing. But I think it is the director and the people from the creator domain is sometimes to thinking. Yeah, so we have to change. Maybe sometime we will be forgot the processing, forgot the logistic. Yeah, and we can talk with the director. What is the frame you are thinking, and what is what is the screen you want to present, and to change the mind to thinking. They will be make it better to discuss. Yeah.
We also have our second speaker, Ethan. He created AI lab in Taiwan. So he actually tried to use AI to simulate a filmmakers to make film. So what that of course give us a great anxiety. What does that mean? Technology will replace the human beings? So let's talk to Ethan. Ethan, hi, are you there?
Hi, President Hu.
Hi, Ethan is in quarantine, which is new normal in this world. Do you think AI will replace human creators? Or you think that human actually can find a way to utilize or even manipulate AI to create more beautiful content for us?
I think eventually artificial intelligence is one of the important tools for the creator to create more powerful things. However, of course, artificial intelligence, right now we can, for example, right now we can mimic how the musician to compose a song, how the frame maker to make a frame. However, if you want to think outside of the box, outside of the bound, the human intervene is still very important. But I do believe in the future, all the artists or even all the filmmaker, they will know how to leverage the artificial intelligence to make better products.
Because we know that Ethan's AI lab, what they did is that they create a software. It's called Yating. Yating is the most common girl's name in Taiwan. I don't know why, but it's a very popular name in Taiwan. So they create this AI who can write music. So Yating can write all kind of music you want her to do. And when a very famous uh, filmmaker in Taiwan who passed away because of a helicopter accident, he also used this filmmaker's perspective to make a new film. Still, I would like to invite Ethan to elaborate more. What's your experience on working on this kind of a project? Um, because for us, like creator cannot be replaced, even they pass away. Can AI really reproduce their perspective, or actually there are some kind of human beings still behind, have to do the editing and tell the AI where to go, or AI actually can be totally autopilot and just complete the whole project like a real human being?
I think eventually AI can totally autopilot compose just like human beings. However, human will never be satisfied, which means even the AI can create a very beautiful song. Um, Humans still want to intervene to have different feeling and different thinking. And then the team project, for example, at the very beginning, actually we started in a group, we call it Human Computer Interaction Group in AI Lab. And we first started to understand people's language. We call it speech recognition, language understanding, facial recognition, for example. But then in the next step, we try to understand what is in the what is in our environment. For example, if you have a camera movement here, how can you recognize your environment and construct based on the understanding, not based on only the pictures. Based on the understanding, which means that when you have for example, we have a project we work with Tainan city government. We actually have an AI drone automatically fly the whole unping area, and the AI drone after he fly the unping area is just construct um, the 360 digital twin of this city. And after we construct this city, like you just mentioned, there's a very famous director Chibolin. We actually learn the camera movement, and we learn the color enhancement. We learn the techniques that Chibolin used in 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 his frame making. Then using this digital twin data set, we can reproduce the frame. Does it feel like Chibolin's movie? But it actually uh, uh, use the data out of the unping area. So in this way, you can know, like in a lot of artist picture. I also saw the the, mo- the movie you just showed, well, right now we can using artificial intelligence to learn some pretty famous artists, for example, the Monet or Da Vinci, and then we fit into different, for example, photos. Then Monet and Da Vinci, we can print the photo it's just like a Monet or Da Vinci draw this picture. So we leverage this kind of techniques. We use the artificial intelligence, learn from the famous artist, learn from the famous filmmaker, and we also have another project. We learn from the famous musician, for example, the pop music. We learn from Baha. We learn from the famous artists, for example, in Taiwan, like Zhou Jie, 5月天. How we can learn from a song. So we first try to recognize the song. What do we mean recognize the song? When the song is playing, we like a human being, we can know what is the singer singing, and what is the guitar playing, and what is the piano playing, what is the drum working. So at the very first beginning, we use artificial intelligence to do the source separation. We recognize the song. Then after we recognize the song, we learn to understand the song, which means what kind of song make people feel sad, what kind of song make people feel delight, what kind of song it sounds like a which musician, for example, 周杰伦 or 5月天. So in this way, we create a pipeline. We have an artificial intelligence to learn from millions of the song. In this way, then artificial intelligence, after it understands the song, then he learn how to compose the song. So now we can have a real-time artificial intelligence work with the artist. For example, I can play a little bit piano, then it will automatically have an artificial intelligence singer sing with me, and it can also have a real-time guitar player join with me, and it also have a drummer or bass player to play with me. And we can also tell the team of artificial intelligence, say, I want this song just feel like a jazz music. Then the team will suddenly become a jazz in, and I can say I'm now I want to have a blue jazz music, slow jazz music. Then you can work to create a song with me, just like a real-time jamming. So we are creating this kind of experience. And with this kind of experience, you can just imagine. In the future, if you want to make a friend or make a VR experience, we can leverage the artificial intelligence to complete the most of the part. And even in the future, if you want to create a song, we can have artificial intelligence to support with just your command, and you can create a song in your direction. And after this direction, of course, the human will never be satisfied. Then you can also try to adjust. I say this guitar is not playing good. I think you should play in this way. And of course, the artificial intelligence can also learn from human. If you tell the artificial intelligence in a new direction, how it plays will be better, and it can also learn by itself. So this is the team of team, just like a President Hu mentioned. We are working in Taiwan with the best Taiwan's pianist, Taiwan's artist, to do the artificial intelligence creations.
I think I pick up 2 points. One is AI still have to learn from someone. It means that they are one actual human being have to create something first for AI to learn. So that will more or less make my argument that the content or the human desire, as Ethan say, that human desire or humans' need will drive the technology to satisfy our expectation. I think that's the message I got, and I'm still pretty happy about that. But anyway, I have a question for Koe, who is in France now. So Koe, can you give us some example how culture and technology work together and create something actually surprisingly surprisingly nice?
Yeah, what I can say is that Lucid Reality is a company that consider we are like a link between technology and creators or artists and directors. So we bring the technology to the artist, and we bring the artist to the technology. So we try to push the borders of the technology, and sometimes when a technology is really new and it needs to have someone or something to push the borders, and even to show to the technologist that they can do better, or they can use the technology in that way or that way, and the artists are the best to imagine new way of doing things, or doing or writing stories, and use the technology for that. So what we are doing at Lucid Realities is really to bring the technology to the cultural sector in two different ways. For production of stories, of immersive stories, as for example, the Starry Beach that Taika has supported just few weeks ago, and thanks to that, of course. And or a project like Claude Monet, the Water Lily Obsession, that was showcased all over the world, and that can show how Claude Monet, the painter, has worked, and gives a feeling for the users or the spectators to be on his feet or something like that. And we use the storytellers, or we ask the storytellers and the directors to bring their knowledge as storyteller, to use the technology and create something really new. So that's one of the type of things we are doing. And the other thing is also to bring the technology in the cultural sector, like museum or cultural centers, and be able to bring this kind of stories, this kind of experience in the museum, where usually you can see artworks or artifacts. And now with this kind of project, you can also live an immersive experience and have a brand new experience with technology.
So
Yeah,
is
I
there
can't
a
see
common
really
language between technology and culture creators? Your job basically link them together. Do you have any example to share that how they work actually quite well, actually, or it turned out to be disaster?
No, disaster, we try not to have any disaster, but sometimes, that's for sure, it's not easy. We need to bring a new vocabulary. We need also to push the technical constraint, because usually artists or people coming from cultural sectors, they don't have really constraint except money, because it's a sector where there's not a lot of money. But usually they can imagine very, very incredible things. So we try to bring this power of imagination and invention, and to bring it in the technical sector, where sometimes you have constraint, but if you push the constraint, and you ask the artist to find new ways, sometimes it can really bring something completely new that anybody has imagined before. So when we work with museums, for example, I have to say that the Orangerie Museum in Paris is very famous because it shows water lilies panels, and it's also quite an old museum, nearly 100 years old. And for the first time last year, they presented a VR project about the water lilies panels. And so that was very new for them. And at the same time, it brings a new way for the visitors to go in the museum, because usually they are going to see the panels, the paintings, and then to see the rest of the collection. But with the VR, they were going in the VR, first in the paintings rooms, then in the VR, and they go back to the paintings room because with the VR, they discovered new things in the painting. And so they wanted to go back and see them again. So that's something that is really powerful, even for the curators, for all the people in museums, to be able to find new ways to work on the traditional paintings and traditional art.
Because this year is a special year, we have to talk about COVID-19. And everyone argued that because this situation, that technology actually probably is a very important solution to change or help distribute the cultural content to the consumer, to the audience. And I kind of wondering, what do you think about that? How technology can help, since we cannot sit in the theater together, or we cannot gather in a big park, listen to the live concert with thousands of people. So how technology can help?
I think around this situation about the COVID-19, the social distance is much important for us. So we are talking about the little contact and but little distance. So there will be always, the people cannot touch each other, but we have no the distance between each other. So there will be like the technology side from the VR, AR technology through the like 5G networking to make each other connect through the network. And we also can to see the image from the other side, even like 1,000 kilometers away. But there will be make people through the technology to make the contact always, but actually it's a little touch. So there will be most important, like right now, we also to thinking from the technology side. Right now we will be integrate like the more like IoT sensing. So even we are in the different room in the remote side, but through some of IoT sensing to remote transfer like the physiology, the information to each other, we can more, I can imagine the video you are showing. I also can imagine like your maybe your mind, and also to see, to understand the more information through the network and also the image. So I think the technical will be the one of the element for the creator, even right now in the COVID-19 situation, and also could help the director and the creator to make a more new media and a new showing, like a TV program or something application, can help each other to have a little touch and a little distance in this COVID-19 situation.
Ethan, what do you think? How technology how your AI can help the development of cultural content after COVID-19?
I think right now we already have a bunch of projects working with the central local government try to overcome the COVID-19 limitation. For example, like a live concert, how we can perform a live concert in the virtual space, but just for the people, for the audience here, he participate in the live concert, they can just feel you are in the real concert. And even the artist, the performance themselves, they can play in different region. For example, you can have a guitar player play at home. You can have a drummer play at their building. But all together, people can still participate in the live concert through the high-speed 5G network. So we are putting together these are with some artificial intelligence techniques. For example, not only you need a high-speed 5G network, but also you need to have a very sensitive like a IoT device to get all this information in a very detail. And of course, you need to have a very good understanding. For example, if you want to build up a virtual space quickly uh, from the uh, from the reality space. For example, right now we have a digital twin project. We can turn a building into a virtual space just in one scan of this virtual space. So in this new methodology, we understand the building and we understand how this music is performing. Then people can participate into the virtual space just like he is in the real space. So we have this kind of project working with the team. They are working on the live concert and the live meeting, just like we are having the online meeting right now. We are using the room, just perform just like we are in the um, we are talking together in the same in the space. But in the future, with a new immersive experience, um, I think the experience can be much better after we apply all this new technology together. And of course, like a lot of time when we are working on the like a like a like concert playing, a lot of time we are missing some party. For example, we are doing a concert, but if you don't have a very good guitar player, if you don't have good singer right now, we can also have a Yating live participate into this event. And all what happening in this event, we can also have like a speech recognition, language understanding. We can also have a image recognition, know what is happening here. So the message can deliver all over the world through the modern network. I think there are a lot of different different application is developing right now, including like in our Medicare, we are talking about how to do the remote operation. When we are talking about the smart transportation, how we can drive a car without the driver. The driver is actually AI or human assist, but that human is remotely assist the AI to drive this car. There are a lot of different technology we are talking about, and we are experimenting right now in Taiwan. Yeah.
It sounds wonderful. However, I still feel kind of scared that a human being can be replaced by AI. But that remind me of something that because when Ethan say, when you want to hold a concert and then you don't have the right drummer, Yating can help. And we know that Lucy Reality, Koi, you right now you have a cross border in collaboration project with Taiwan. So how do you perceive that? Can you send an AI to film the underworld of Taiwan? Can you tell us more how technology help you?
No, of course we don't use AI. not for this project, but of course we use all the online tools as a video conference as we are doing right now. We have a weekly conference with the Taiwanese team and the artist team, Huang, and we use, of course, all the shared tools that we have to store all the elements, to share the elements, and to be able to give our feedbacks on what is created in Taiwan. So hopefully with our kind of work, digital tools are very common, and even before the COVID-19, we were using it daily. But now we cannot do in another way, and we hope that the human contact will be possible in the next months, because of course it's not exactly the same to be able to show, to see the people. And I've heard that they will have they will invent some glasses that can scan your eyes. So even in a video conference, you can have like a link between your eyes and the eyes of the people you are talking to. But I'm not sure it completely replaces the real meeting. But we are still trying to do that, and hopefully in a few weeks or months we will be able to take the plane and be able to travel again.
Yeah, we will wait for you in Taiwan. However, I wonder, because since you're going to film the undersea of southern Taiwan, maybe Ethan's AI actually can help you to go even deeper to somewhere that human being cannot be there physically. Is that possible?
I don't
Koi?
exactly know. I don't exactly know what Ethan can do, but we can take send an email and see. But on this project, the Starry Beach, we are more recreating the submarine world in 3D. But still, we can talk. Let's talk together.
I think you'll be surprised the technology power in Taiwan is quite strong, and our friends here are happy to help you.
That's for sure. Thank you so much.
Yes. So, anyone on the side have a question for this section? I was told that actually we can ask questions. Anyone from Venice want to ask questions? Then I have to ask a question. So I guess we keep talking about this, how the technology and culture, because for us, when we talk about culture, is our imagination of lifestyle, that the how we're going to live our life, what our society will be alike. So maybe from a creator's point of view, quite different from you, who is you work purely in technology sector all your life. Do you really think different from us?
Actually, I think people know that Taiwan is really the technology. Yeah, the penetration rate here, even the mobile phone, is over like the mobile subscription is over the 29 million. There is a means like the baby is also have a phone number too. Yeah, but we always to talking the technology always to support the people human. Now, what is the people really want, the human requirement and the natural requirement is much important. So the technology always be the support side to make the demand from the people. Yeah. So I think it is a much importance. So we always to thinking from the people thinking side, not from the technology driven. Yeah. So I think it will be make a more 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 comfortable for the people. Yeah. So otherwise the people will be always thinking the machine, the technology will be extended of the person. Yeah. So they will be make people to try to quite uncomfortable for that. Yeah. So, but we know that the technology the growing very quickly, like AI in the image recognition. We always to thinking in the console side in the like a music event, the technology can help to the presentation layer, yeah, to make the service will be remotely more comfortable for the people. Also can make the image frame more diversity and more rich. So they will be good for we like I mentioned. We always thinking from the people demand side and to make a technology to support the people requirement.
And Ethan, I'm going to throw the big question at you. Since your AI can do everything, almost everything, what do you expect from human creators? What do you want them to, how can they contribute or work with you, work with your AI? How you want them to use your AI? Did we lose Ethan? Hi, did you hear my question? I guess his connection is not very good. Yes, he got disconnected. So you are the tech guy. So can you answer that for Ethan?
Hello?
What do you think? Oh, he's back. He's back. Hi, did you hear us? He froze again. This is
Sorry,
funny, huh?
I lost connection for like a couple of seconds while you are
Okay,
asking
no
me.
problem. Let me repeat my question, because since your AI can do almost everything, and I wonder, what do you expect from human creators? What do you want them to how they what do you want them to how to work with your AI, how to utilize your AI, and what kind of work relationship you expect the human creator to have with your AI?
I think what my expectation to be human. And from my point of view, the artificial intelligence we will mimic what human can do as much as possible. And the human creator, but when the human creator in the future, when they want to create the content, for example, they can think about you leveraging the tool we have. For example, you don't need to create the whole song by yourself. Right now, you can only create the melodies. Then the AI can help you to compose the majority of the part. And after the AI compose the majority of the part, then you can just tell the AI which part you want to modify. Just like you will become more like a director instead of a, a label intensive creative creator. Yeah. So and in our AI lab, we have a lot of members. We cross discipline. For example, a lot of our um, music team members, they are actually play piano. They also play guitar. They just in a in the normal days, they are just the one of the member of the band. But when they are doing the artificial intelligence, they just think about how the AI can help them. So, so my best, so from my best experience is if you want to do artificial intelligence, you want to leverage artificial intelligence, the best way is just like you can come to AI Lab, for example, tell us about what you can do, then we can give you some uh, tool and the experience, then see if you can create a much uh, powerful movie, much powerful music through this tool. And maybe you can have different kind of idea in the future, like after you have the new tools. Yes.
So following Ether's kind offer, I want to ask Koei, so what kind of technology you want those people to invent it for you, so you make your work easier?
That's not easy as question, because I need creators, and I'm not a creator myself, so I need creators to have the good ideas and to send them their ideas, and be able to push the technology. So, but I keep the idea of being in touch with Ethan, and uh, and next time I'm coming to Taiwan, that's for sure. I try to. Are you in Taiwan, or I'm not sure? Yeah.
We are all in
Why
Taipei.
not?
Yeah, we are in Taiwan. But Ethan just fly back from somewhere, right, Ethan?
Okay. Okay.
He's
So
in
next time
quarantine
I'm
now.
coming to Taipei, I want a meeting with you.
And you also can meet with
Welcome.
Rosenthal. Yes.
Of course.
Any question now? No. Everyone is very shy. I really feel the online forum make people very shy. So thank you for the three speakers. I think that for us, technology is really help us to imagine our future. And for sure that we want to utilize the technology power to improve our life quality and fulfill our cultural imagination. And in the third part, we want to talk about the marketing and distribution of VR, because everyone thinks VR is impossibly expensive. So how can we deliver the expensive iPhone to the right audience? Where is the audience? So we want to talk about in the third section.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Hi, welcome back. We met with the creators. We met with the technology people. Now we going to meet with the business people. Wow. Let's talk about money now. So just like we say that VR is a new genre, everyone see the potential. Everyone see is the part of the future. But right now it looks so expensive, and so few people can watch it. Where to watch it, and how can afford making a film? So that's the question we want to ask the three speakers today. So these three speakers are all expert in VR. So should I say VR? Not really. Yes, I think so. The VR genre. The first speaker is Miss Becky Shaw. He is the Deputy Director of Taiwan Mobile, also the head of My Video business, which is Taiwan mobile streaming service. Taiwan Mobile is one of the leading telecom companies in Taiwan. Welcome.
Thank you.
And she prepares a presentation to explain what she's doing and what her company is capable of doing. Let's watch. Everyone, please bear with us. We all know online forum is very difficult, so yeah. As we have some technical problems, let's talk about let's present the second speaker, who is Miss Sting Tao. Hi, Sting.
Hi.
He's called Sting, huh? Very, very interesting name. But Sting is the president of XRSPACE, which constantly innovates digital marketing business models and platform strategy for the growing demand on immersive content. And he's going to explain how the XR space is more like a parallel universe for us. When you log in, you're in another world. So he's going to talk about his exciting project later on. And since we continue, then we introduce the third speaker, Jimmy. Jimmy Cheng is the director of content at Digital Domain. He focuses on the acquisition and licensing of XR contents and bring his expertise in corporate operation to content management and production. So each of them present a business presentation about their company. So should we go back to Peggy? Yes.
Okay.
Oh, here we are. My video introduction.
Okay, can you put it in the full screen or just? Okay.
Please show.
Okay, Peggy Shaw from Taiwan Mobile, and let me give you a quick introduction of what my video is doing. Here is the marketing overview. My video has a 6.6 registered and 3 million monthly active users right now. Our subscriber can enjoy my video on multiple devices like smartphone, pad, and desktop computers. In 2017, we work with cable to bring my video content through the cable services at home. So more than 1 million set-top box they can access and can enjoy my video. So my video now we have a quarter, 25% of household penetration in Taiwan. And we offer multiple business models to the market. SVOD, TVOD, transactional VOD, EST is a kind of digital DVD, electronic sell-through, and AVOD is a advertising VOD. And we work with more than 50 leader content providers in Taiwan and global, like studios, Discovery and BBCs, to offer contents to my videos users. Now we have 37,000 hours on the shelf right now. For our content investment, we put it in two parts. The one part is what we are doing right now is for the retention. Most of our content we license from the licensor, so it's a purchase part. And now we hope we can move up to the ecosystem to work with production house to have more and to find good Taiwan local culture content. So we want to leverage the Taiwan local contents to do some acquisition to spatial unique content to the Taiwan market. This is a lineup of what we are doing right now. The victims we work with Netflix, and workers we work with HBO, and Fly the Jumper, and it's a movie. It's made by iPhone. It's a very interesting one. It's still on the theatrical. And the next one, a flagship drama, we work with PTS, a magician in the skywalk, and plan to launch in next year, Q1. Except that we extend my video, not only the smartphone, pad, or cable service, we extend my video to XRSPACE, a digital world. And we launched the service. We have a My Video VR hall in XRSPACE in the end of August this year. And we expect more co-op with XRSPACE in the future. And that's an introduction of my video.
Thank you. And you saw in the my video presentation, you already saw the XRSPACE. So XRSPACE thing. Explain to us what XRSPACE is.
Hi everyone. I am president of XRSPACE. Our vision is to bring people together through XR, no matter where they are. And our goal is to take XR to the masses by refining how people connect, how people socialize and collaborate in XR. And we want to build the XR platform that everyone can use every day. To show you what we do, let's watch a video.
The advance of mobile technology, there is always one single goal: to build human connections. Yet connections are often limited by space and time. And the truth is, we are more complicated than what text and emojis can offer. We are XRSPACE. We want to bring people together easily, instantly, without confines of physical boundaries. And we have built an entire world to make that happen. With lifelike avatars, we can enjoy every precious moment with families, friends, without the limits of distance. In XRSPACE Manova, you can own private spaces, like a home, or go to public spaces to explore. We will be able to wander around, make new friends, jump into things we love in an instant, and share the best moments with people around. This is also a place where you can find what you are passionate about, where true joy can be joined, great vibes felt by everyone, where we can still be productive across distances, or just learn from the best wherever you are. A place to share endless fun with friends, a place to hang out, or to simply show your moves. A magical place where we can become better versions of ourselves and never look back. XRSPACE Manova is a real wonderland with so much more to offer. A place to return to anytime, anywhere.
We try to bring people together through XR. Let me summarize who we are. We built Manova virtual world. That is, we created a very powerful device coming with Manova social reality platform containing hundreds of space for social, entertainment, games, education, and other contents.
Thank you.
Thank you.
And Jimmy, you're next.
Okay. Hi, everyone. I'm Jimmy Cheng, Director of Content at Digital Domain. Thanks for Taika and Ms. Hu to invite me to attend this panel, and I'm very happy to be here. Digital Domain is a visual effects company founded by James Cameron when he was shooting Titanic. So we're already in the industry for about 28 years, non-stop producing visual effects work for feature films, high-end commercials, and all kinds of new media content. So right now I would like to share a video with you to showcase about what are the past works that we did, and I'll continue the introduction. So since 2014, 2015, Digital Domain invested a lot into VR, AR, platform development, content creation, camera development, live streaming. And we did a lot of good service work for NBA, Sky TV, Nobel Peace Prize, especially in 2016 Rio Olympics. We completed a complete 360 live streaming and also 42 platforms for the broadcasters in the world. However, in 2018, we realized it is actually very hard for us to monetize the technology or patent that we invested. So we decided to spin off a company called Iconic Engine, and I think that is the company that most of the people in XR ecosystem recognize me during the past 2 years. Iconic Engine is currently now focusing on the B2B service between studios and telecoms, because telecoms, they are all targeting for VR distribution to showcase about 5G. And they need to find good VR content or XR content to distribute. And that is the purpose that we decided to spin up this company. What is the reason why telecoms need to use VR to showcase 5G? I think over 80% of the people in the world, they still don't understand why we need 5G. The current LTE or in-home Wi-Fi we have are actually capable for us to, fulfill the work we need, upload, download, or most of the content streaming that we have. But when we talk about 5G, people think about, yeah, it is good for maybe social security, for the big data, or any kinds of like the big research or medical. So we maybe don't need 5G. So telecoms, when they're promoting 5G, they need to find a good showcase, and VR is actually a very good way. First, they mostly have their VOD and OTT platform, so it's very reasonable for them to set up the new media channel and then to test this new media plus showcasing the bandwidth. And also, when we consider about the file size, a normal VR content, 4K, 5 minutes, pure animated, it will be at least 2 gigabytes or up to 5 gigabytes. And right now, VR already reaches to 10 gigabytes or even bigger. So the bandwidth is really a problem when we are just using the in-home Wi-Fi or 5G we have. So that's basically what we're doing, and we're trying to push the XR ecosystem forward. Thank you.
You mentioned 5G. So the first question is, does 5G really matter? Becky, does 5G change the world of your works? Does that shape your new business development? Does that help?
Of course it helps. Actually, we believe that the 5G factors for the low latency and high speed and more capacity compared with 4G. So we offer we work with studios and the local partners to provide 4K content to the user, and we put 4K or 8K prioritized for shooting a film. So that's why we think with 5G we can bring more good quality content to the audience. And we work in our group. We work with Fubon Guardians. It's a baseball team. We try to have a multi-angle view when the live broadcasting. The traditional one is 2D live broadcasting. With 5G, we can bring multi-angle 3D live broadcasting to the user. That's why we are thinking for the 5G, the high speed and low latency will help for the live streaming, especially for the sports game. And we are still trying the 360-degree in the live game or the VOD. But it's a kind of test run because we want to find a better experience, especially we work with XRSPACE. The immersive content depends on the display equipment. So not only the network, but the equipment has to be popular to make the content more popular. So we believe the 5G can help the content culture industry.
But I wonder, maybe it's also a fair comment to say that because right now 5G is here, so a channel like distribution channel like yours realize that the cultural content is quite important, because almost like you have a highway, high-speed highway, and then you need car to run on the highway, and therefore original content is like car for you. Is that correct?
Yes.
And this is one reason you start investing in original content actually. Can you elaborate more on that?
For example, the Magician in the Skywalk, and we work with PTS, and we hope we can have a different experience, not only the drama play on the OTT or the TV. We are shooting try to have a VR immersive content to, for example, because we invest in the upstream, so we invest in the IP. We hope we can work with PTS to leverage this IP to make people to experience how this content will bring what they want to deliver to the audience, to really feel the 360-degree feel, the real world in the book, because it's adapted from a book.
You picture a very lovely picture, right? It's an immersive content, and people can profit the power of 5G to have more cultural experience. But where is the audience, Jimmy? Because right now everything is so expensive. It's not like everyone have a headset at home. How did you find the audience? Where are they, and how you distribute the content to them, to the right audience?
So it's actually interesting for answering this question, because yesterday I was having the panel about distribution with Liz from Venice yesterday, and she was actually talking about, so right now we roughly have about maybe 8 to 10 million headsets in the world. It sounds not bad compared to 2016. But the problem is we need to divide that into different companies: HTC, Oculus, Pico, XRSPACE, Samsung, Huawei. And then that becomes a problem, because every company's headset is very limited, especially in a single country. So where is the audience? That's the problem. And I would say when a creator or a producer creates the content, they have to ask their own question: where I want to put this content, who is the audience that I want to distribute the content. Because some of the producers still in the past, they keep saying, oh, my content is for a normal person to watch. And that is the wrong answer, because every audience...
Wrong answer.
That is the wrong answer. Because every audience has different taste. Like for me, I don't like to watch drama. I like to watch extreme sports and travel content. And maybe Miss Hu, she will want to watch entertainment or fiction. So even your content is very, fun and normal, you still need to define who is the audience that you really want to reach out. So when you really define your audience, like I'm now creating a game, then maybe my audience is on PSVR and Oculus. And that is where I want to put my project to. So defining the market right now, that we don't have enough headsets, and right now telecoms are jumping in. Basically, the producers, when they are producing their project, it's easier for them to define. Okay, right now I do have a 6DoF interactive build, and I can easily go to like the platforms we have right now. And then I want to distribute my content to more end users. So right now I want to work with those 3DoF platforms, such as like telecoms, VR, Amaze VR, and I know there is a new platform that is coming out from UK very soon. They are doing some soft launch in later this year or early next year. And basically, these are the platforms that you can actually reach out to more users, because a 3DoF platform is easily to be played on your iOS, Android, and Pad. And also, 3DoF platform is easier to combine with more headsets. Like, it's easy to integrate with like a headset from Pico or Huawei. And that's actually where the audience are. And of course, these platforms, when they are testing the platform and distribution, they can also reflect the actual result from the market. What are the contents? What are the genres that popular in this, in this region? And that can help the producer to understand, okay, this type of content can easily go to maybe Taiwan and Japan, but maybe harder to go to US or Europe. I think that's how we define where is the audience and how you distribute. And of course, try to talk to more distributors in the world, because there are some distributors, they are specifically knowing a specific territory, and they can tell you the know-how. Yeah, I think that's kind of like the overall.
Thank you. Sting, then I'm
Yes.
curious, because you build a whole new world now. It's a new universe. And right now it's kind of empty inside. So who do you want to use your space? And what kind of content you want to put inside to satisfy their need?
Okay, we are a newcomer of the XR platform, And we want to provide this platform to everyone. We try to solve the problem of the VR contents distribution channel problem. So basically, the short answer is we want everyone to buy this headset to solve the distribution problem. And we want all the contents creator create the contents on our platform. So that's what we want. But how we do it is the problem, right? So your question is what kind of content?
Start?
Yeah, how do we start? We try to make every experience on our platform. We investigate all the failure problem in the past VR, and we try to design the new headset that is the smallest, the lightest, the affordable, and yet powerful. We made the world to be multiple user experience. People can join the platform together, watch the same contents, and chat and enjoy the time together. We try to build that experience. So we try to do that. Now let me try to leverage this opportunity to invite the content creator. Although we are newcomer, try to work with us to create the contents that user can really wow and let all the people who doesn't have a headset to join. Let's think about before 19th century, when people want to watch Shakespeare drama, they need to go to the theater. They actually participate in the space with other audience and actors all together, enjoy the time. And when the TV and all the video technology, internet revolutionize everything, now the distance isn't the problem. Like today, we can watch any contents easily, but we lose the element of the theater. With the 5G and our technology, these two things actually finally can converge at the same time. We created the virtual avatar to represent you, to be present in the virtual space and watch the contents actors create all together. We think it would be fun. And furthermore, actually, we try to use the power of 5G and put back the power to the user. We put user in the center of any contents. User interact with other people, and users can interact with the contents, be part of the performance, be part of the story with this advancement of technology. So actually what we are doing now is working with all the contents creators, the pioneers like Taiwan Mobile. We try to build the contents in the 5G way so that people can interact with, although it's a baseball game, it's also a kind of content, right? So we recreated the virtual stadium experience to make people in the stadium and participate in the game together, although they are far, they are not there. And furthermore, we actually want to implement other experience that let this performance much more than the content itself. User interact with the contents. Like if it's a baseball game, actually people can shoot the fireworks, in the virtual stadium. So actually the watching experience can be much enhanced. So we welcome the directors and the content creators to create a really amazing next generation content with us that really move the rock that distribution channel is so limited. We want the best content to be provided by using our technology. So even normal user will feel they need to buy this contents. They need to buy this content because they really want this kind of theater experience without the limitation of distance. And other excitement and surprises that all the best content creator can create for them. So that's what we try to break the inertia of today's problem.
Well, it sounds very exciting for the new world. But according to Jimmy, that actually you need to tailor your cultural content, right, for the right audience. So I want to ask Peggy then, because you already have subscription members.
Yes.
Do you know their taste? How you select your content, cultural content to distribute to them? Or you were tailored for them, or actually you will want to throw some surprise to them all the time? How you decide your projects?
Yes, we know what the test our users like. That's why we focus on some kind of genres. For example, like the professional one, and we work with, as a firefighter story, we work with PTS. It's a firefighter professional, and the other is a love story. Most of the people in the subscriber in my video, they like love story, but not the traditional love story. Not the traditional love story. For example, we work with a TV station. We will launch this one in Q4. It's a story talk about mother, how a woman after marriage is it necessary to be a mom, or a woman can have their career, they can have a different life, or they will treat their marriage and the family and work be a balance. It's a kind of love story, but it's not a traditional one we call it. And we want to focus on the thematical or experimental content. For example, it's a movie. It's made by a iPhone. All the movies shoot by iPhone. It's another one we want to deliver to the users. Actually, we usually don't want to have more surprise to the users. So, and we are interested in the VR, but you know the people, most of the people, our subscribers say it's a kind of dizzy when they enjoy the immersive content. I think it's a big issue for our customers, for our users.
I think the problem is improving, right? Yeah.
The problem is improving, but I think it still takes time. Because I would say when telecoms are stepping into this, firstly, it's very hard and almost impossible for them to directly invest into headset, because that's a really huge cost. So normally they have to start from a cardboard or just an iOS or Android display, and that is a big problem for the display for VR, because the quality goes to very low, or if you use a cardboard, it becomes very dizzy. Or simple 3DOF headset, quality also is a problem.
So we have 1 minute left, but I want to throw a very quick question to Jimmy, because we talk about the competition is not only among technology, but also the content going to go on the technology. Does Taiwanese content have any special unique position in this global competition? Can you make a case for us?
As a distributor, I really don't think I should be the one to answer this, but I might have a point. So after watching so many contents from the world, like every country has some specific, very cultural content. And the problem is when I try to display a cultural content from Africa to Taiwanese, normally it's gonna fail because we don't understand the culture. And I think the best selling points for Taiwanese producers, directors, and our culture is because Taika and Kaohsiung Film Festival has already promoted the XR ecosystem very much during the past 2-3 years. So right now, many producers and studios from US, France, they all want to work with our producers and our talent here. And that is the best selling point because 2 months ago, we announced the Taika Immersive Content Grant. And there is a project called the Starry Beach, basically co-produced with Lucid Reality. And that is a good example because we're combining the pipeline, the technology the French studio has, and then plus the culture, the landscape that we have from Taiwan. So the content can be very diversified that to showcase about Taiwanese culture, but also not be so Taiwanese style, so foreigners can really understand the beauty and the concept of the content. So I think that's the best point to sell Taiwanese cultural content is, you know, to work with international people and then to make the content very diversified.
Thank you. Anyone want to ask question from Venice or from here? Anyone? I believe a lot of people are very curious about to ask questions to those business people. How can we sell? How can we make the industry grow even bigger? Okay. I guess yeah, online forum is really difficult, but we are progressing. Maybe next year we are very good at online forum, but I hope the COVID-19 situation will be finished by then, so we can really physically hug each other in Venice next year. Well, thank you everyone. Thank you for participation, and we are very honored and happy to host this conference. And TAICA is invest and also promote Taiwan in the Taiwan content industry. We are very happy to work with everyone from around the world. So please checking our website and contact us. And hopefully we'll see each other really physically in Venice. Thank you. Bye.